Welcome back, everybody, to Well Life Wednesday, where we focus on healing, emotional wellness, self awareness, and living healthier lives mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm Cristy, licensed clinical mental health counselor supervisor.
And I'm Iris, your licensed clinical addiction associate specialist. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite streaming platform.
That's right. But today we are discussing something that so many people are silently struggling with right now, Iris, and that's burnout and workforce wellness.
And this topic matters because people are exhausted, emotionally exhausted, mentally drained, physically overwhelmed, and spiritually depleted.
Yeah, people are trying to survive demanding work environments while
Yeah,
balancing life, family, responsibilities, financial stress, mental health challenges, and sometimes unresolved trauma.
that's so true, Christy. Many people don't even realize they're burned out because functioning while suffering has become normalized.
Wow, that's true. So, perfect place to start. Let's talk about what is burnout, Iris. Burnout is more than simply being tired after work.
Burnout is a chronic emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress, overwhelm, and imbalance.
Yeah. It often happens when people continuously give more than they have emotionally without proper recovery or support. And we have been addressing that for the past couple of weeks now.
And burnout doesn't only affect people in high level careers, it affects healthcare workers, therapists, teachers, first responders, ministry leaders, parents, social workers, case managers, business owners, caregivers, and corporate employees.
That's right, Iris. It can be the least of these to the higher ups.
Mhm.
Burnout can face anyone, especially in today's time. Burnout can happen anywhere. Constantly operating, people who are constantly operating under pressure.
So let's talk about signs of burnout. A lot of people miss the warning signs because they think they just need a vacation. They're just stressed. I'll rest later. A lot of people have used that. I'll rest later. I'm just stressed out right now. I'll be all right. But
Yeah,
really, they're not noticing that they're actually burned out. They're overwhelmed.
yeah. We're just overlooking it. We're bypassing it. It's something. I'm. You have the signs and you feel it. You know you're tired. A lot of times you just think it's just physical rest, but it's deeper
Mhm.
than that. And so you just constantly keep bypassing and overlooking it. But burnout affects the mind, the body, emotions, and relationships.
And some emotional signs may include being irritable, emotional numbness, anxiety, increased frustration, feeling detached, and loss of motivation. And a lot of times that's where it begins. With our emotions, we're so irritable and we lose the things that we cared about the most. We're not motivated to do anything.
That's right, Iris. Some physical signs may include chronic fatigue, sleep problems, appetite changes, headaches, body tension, frequent illness. A lot of time, we all have know somebody who's always sick. No matter what it is, it's always something going on physically with them. That could
Mhm.
be signs of burnout, exhaustion, mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and it's showing up in your body. We have to take note of these flags sometimes and stop just putting it off as one thing. These things are connected.
Right. So true. Mentally, people may struggle with difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, feeling overwhelmed, negative thoughts, and lack of creativity. So when you're dealing with those, you're going to see those signs
Yes,
of forgetting. Yeah, like a lack of creativity, the negative thoughts, and you wonder, well, where this come from all of a sudden?
you don't have any desire to do anything. The thrill is gone.
Yeah.
You used to enjoy your task, your job, even your hobbies. You can't even focus on it anymore. It takes everything in you just to complete minor things that before you could knock it out like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And relationally, burnout can impact patience with loved ones, communication, intimacy, social isolation, emotional availability. When you're burned out, you don't have anything to give. You barely can give it to your job and the stuff but to give to loved ones, people who mean something, you don't have anything to give because you don't have it to give to yourself. So you see how that trickle down effects happens. It's not only affecting you; it's affecting your spouse, your children, family members. If you're a caregiver, everybody's going to feel the effects of that, and that's going to cause conflict within your home life, your setting.
Yeah, because Casey, sometimes when people come home from work, they have nothing left emotionally for themselves, like you said, or their families. So it has come down to, like you said, trickle down to to home. You can't even spend time when you get home. You're going straight to the shower to your bed.
Or
Sometimes they don't need. Oh, yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say sometimes you come in the house, don't even say nothing to nobody. You just
People ask how you doing,
you ain't saying nothing.
or it's automatic negative. Everything that went wrong that could go wrong. Or Iris, you're coming home to complete work that you should have completed while you were there. So there's
Mm-hmm.
no cutoff. There's no
Yes,
boundary.
still not present. Yeah.
Still not present. The children come running up to you. Your husband come running up to you. Your wife come running up to you, and you didn't drop that off at the door when you clocked out. And you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I need an hour to complete this and do. That's not fair. It's not fair to you. I want to say that as the person
Mm-hmm.
who's experiencing that, because you should be able to come home and be like, oh, finally, peace.
Right.
You don't even have it when you walk through the door, and you want to run away from that environment now. You're
Mm-hmm.
constantly running away from things because you're not facing it. You're tired.
That's
So let's
true.
talk about why people ignore burnout.
Because many people have been conditioned to believe rest will equal weakness. They put rest with weakness, and that's not true. If just because I need to take a break or I need a rest, I am not weak at all. If if I keep going the way I'm going to become weak, tired, irritable, all these other things we just named. I won't be able to do anything for anybody.
Right.
You have to identify and learn when it's time to take a break and some rest so you can have the strength to continue to move forward and do the things that you need to do.
And our culturally, we're conditioned for that.
Mm-hmm.
We I'm pretty sure growing up, I've fallen into that. Oh, they ain't got no
Yeah.
job, they're worth nothing. You hear that? You heard it from the elders in your community all the time. They don't work. Bible says they don't work, they don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
Good for nothing. But we don't know what people have gone through. Why they're not able to even maintain employment. It could be more than that. It
Mm-hmm.
could be trauma.
Yeah.
It could be lack of focus and direction. Everything is rooted and grounded into something deeper.
There you
But
go.
we never have the conversation about what is it? Why? We just constantly point out people's flaws and dismiss things as something such as laziness when that's not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
Or people feel guilty slowing down, Iris. Bills still exist.
Mm-hmm.
Responsibility still exists.
Yeah.
People depend on me. When you constantly carrying the load and the weight of everyone else, you feel like you don't have time to stop. You can't stop working. You can't quit that job because if I quit, I'm
What's gonna
financially
happen? Yeah.
responsible for everybody. What's gonna happen? I got to be the strong one. The light the light company not gonna understand that I'm mentally exhausted and drained and it's
Yes.
taking a toll on me physically. They're not gonna understand that. Because you didn't set boundaries, those people who are always counting on you give them some spare change, they're not gonna understand your no. I can't ain't got it to give. They're not gonna
Mm-mm.
understand that.
And like you said, Christy, culturally, overworking is praise because you do hear bills still exist, responsibility still exists. That's the mind set that they have, that I have to keep pushing because who else is going to help me? Who else is going to support me? If I don't do this, bills won't get paid. I'm gonna lose my house. I'm gonna lose my car. What am I gonna eat?
Yeah. People celebrate hustle culture, Iris.
Yeah,
Grinding. You hear that even in the music rap grinding. You hear all that. Working through exhaustion. Never taking time off. What you need to take time off? You can rest when you die. You heard? Have we not
yeah.
heard
You
that?
heard it. You heard it. Yeah,
But what's the point if I'm dying early?
yeah.
Because I'm overworked. I'm exhausted. I haven't dealt with things because I keep bottling down and putting stuff on top. I keep collecting everybody else's baggage. I'm carrying my family on my back. You hear a lot of these athletes saying, I got to get out of the hood and I got to get out of this situation. I got to buy my mama, my parents a house. I got to take care of the family. Who put that responsibility on you?
Mm-hmm.
We already, before we even make it, we burdening ourselves with stuff
Right.
that
That
nobody
ain't
should
their responsibility.
be. That's not the dynamics of how families should work. The child shouldn't be taking care of the parent or that desire of the parent at such a young age. Because the parents haven't gotten their stuff right. They don't have financial freedom. They haven't figured out how to save and how to manage their the lifestyle, the home life. It's
Right.
all it's all unorganized and disarray. Soon as you turn 18, you got to get out this house and you got to pay some bills. We automatically giving the children, the young adults, bills to pay for. When look at what's going on out here. The cost of living is high for a one bedroom. They can't survive on their own. I seen a video of a young girl. She was still in high school working. She was supposed to pay $600 to rent out the room. We burning the children out before they even get out here in the real world. We shouldn't be burned out in the house. This is generational things. We are teaching this culture. Work, 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 work. Money, 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 money. Bills, 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 bills. When I need us to, yes, all that's important, but what about health, 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 wealth, wealth, taking care of yourself, self-care,
And people,
prioritize.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and people wonder why, like, these young kids are now so stressed and dealing with so much anxiety. If you talk to them, some of these young males and females, that's what they're worried about. How they're gonna live. They moved out. It's different from when we was coming up. Like I said, the cost of living wasn't like this.
Right.
So if we graduated college, you found your one bedroom for about $800, $900,
Mm-hmm.
you were set.
Yeah.
But now it is hard for working adults to survive with rent and mortgage where the rates are right now. But we steady pushing young adults. They're not ready for this yet. They, that's a different ball game now because they have taken so much out of school till they don't know how to really adapt in this world.
Right. Right. They don't even understand work culture, Iris. How
Yeah,
to
yeah.
a 9 to 5 seems crazy. That's beneath them. Everybody feel like they got to be an entrepreneur, but don't have that spirit, that drive, know-how. We just out here hustling.
Stressing ourselves out
Yeah.
because stress, surviving on stress is not sustainable.
There you go. Hmm.
You can't continue to live like that. That's when things going to start affecting, like you said, everything. Mental health, physical health, all that's tied into one. So it's going to affect both. You're going to start seeing different signs from, like I said, mental stability and physical health.
Right.
You're going to see the signs.
That's just very true, Iris. And many workplaces unintentionally reward unhealthy behavior.
Listen.
How many of us had to, when you first started working at some of these retail stores, you had to push the store card, the credit card on people who just coming to make a purchase. Somebody just coming to buy a work shirt for a job, some slacks.
Listen.
We got to push this. If you sell this many store cards, you get this as a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Putting pressure on us just to even do the job that we're supposed to. Now we got to do this. If you work overtime, you'll get this. Go ahead, Iris.
No, I was saying, do you remember when you went out to college, how people were sitting down in the library or in the cab trying to push you to get credit cards?
Oh yeah. Didn't even know what that was. Had no idea.
Listen.
Messing your credit up.
Credit up. Now you stress about how to pay that.
Right. Now you're out of college and you got all these bills.
Yeah.
Nobody taught you about loans and all of that. What that looks like. These are the principles we're not teaching in the home before they leave because it's not taught at all.
Right.
Parents not even understanding back then what it means to get parent loans for their children. How did it affect?
Yeah.
It was a trickle effect. Lack of education and knowledge can affect you in the long run.
That's so true. Some employees feel valued only when they are overstanding themselves. I would never be that employee where I have to feel valued by doing everything. My job, their job, helping out everywhere. I would never be that employee. I don't want to overstand myself because overstanding myself requires me probably staying after work. You got a family. You're late from being present with your family. I mean, you're doing things that where you're not even settled in your own self. Probably ain't even gotten all your work done, but you already volunteering to do something else for somebody else. No, I'm not overstanding. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah, I think it also plays a part where if you don't know better, you're looking at it as, oh gosh, I'm valued. They need me. They keep calling on me. But what you don't see is you're also could possibly be being used because they know.
Yeah, there you go. And manipulated.
Yes. And I think at one job that was me. I'm the only one that can do it. So, and I'm the best at it. When I didn't even really see, I'm coming home exhausted. I'm not getting home till 7 or 8 p.m. It's still got to do the work that I didn't finish because I started something else off the clock. So now I got to come home and finish that. I'm falling asleep while still working and got to get up and do the same thing the next day, staying after yet again. Why was I doing that? Why do we put ourselves through that? You got to know your value.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know your boundaries.
Yeah.
You got to know, I got to say no so that I can operate on what you hired me to do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep asking of me. You can't keep pushing that finish line on me, changing it every day.
Right.
It's not fair to the person. It's not fair to the company because what you're going to end up producing is going to be trash.
There you go. There you go.
Culture of what is it called when people keep a lot of people quitting? Turnover. High turnover rate. Yeah. It all starts to connect at some point, and we got to see in order to have produce a good product, have a good company, and this ain't just about work. This could be about church or business, whatever else, whatever you have. In order to keep producing quality content, quality, not quantity, quality content, your people have to be well. They have to know that they mean something. What they do is valued, and you're not going to overextend them. You're not going to when you ask them to step that bar up, they're going to want to because they see that it's a buy-in into it.
Mm-hmm.
You care for me, I'm going to care for you.
Right.
And you take my wholeness, that my wellness is important to you as the senior person, the higher up, the owner, the CEO. You see that. And you say, "Oh, today maybe we need to have a park day, a lunch and learn something," because I sense it. I think we've been working
Mm-hmm.
hard.
That makes
You see how there's a
I
balance?
gotta
Go
say that
ahead.
makes me think about those other countries or whatever states that actually they don't work like we work. But they give them like 4 days. You able to take
Yeah.
what's my thought? Naps.
Naps
Yeah,
between, yeah, naps and
they know the worst of their
mhm.
they know that you can't keep working people and think you're going to get the best out of them. If you're working 12 days, what they call you working 12-hour shifts, you're 3 days on, 3 days off, 4 days, however they do that, and then you don't take the adequate breaks. Are we getting all the quality things done? That's why they got quality
No.
control. No, because you got to throw some of that stuff out that got through the line.
Uh, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it, Iris. That creates an unhealthy relationship between productivity and self
Mm-hmm.
worth.
Yes. That's it.
I only mean
That's
something to you
it.
when I'm producing something.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know what might come up. What if illness, physical illness, come up, and I can't produce like I used to for sure? But now I gotta take care of that.
Right.
Am I still valued then? Am I still important to you then? Do you even check on me, even though I can't come to work? I can't show up to that business meeting, that
Mm-hmm.
assignment. Am I still valued, or you find me a replacement? That's why we can't take these things serious. Just if something happened to you today, your job will be description will be up
You
tomorrow.
better believe it. So let's talk about helping professions and compassion fatigue. This topic is especially important because it's helping with your profession.
That's right, absolutely. Therapists, nurses, social workers, addiction counselors, pastors, direct care staff, and community workers often carry emotional weight.
Yes. Listen to what those all those titles, job descriptions you just named. Of course they do.
Mhm.
When you constantly absorb other people's pain, trauma, crisis, and emotions without adequate restoration, compassion fatigue develops. That goes back to like you said, when we was in school and they told us the importance of having a therapist.
Mhm.
You have to go somewhere to, I don't want to say vent, but let those things out. We hear and take on a lot of things as therapists and substance abuse specialists. And it can
Mhm.
be overwhelming hearing people's stories. And then also it can be a
Okay.
trigger.
Mhm.
So you have to go and get the support you need to continue to do your job effectively.
That's right, Aaron. Social workers, therapists, addiction specialists, pastors, nurses, doctors. When you're constantly seeing for doctors and nurses death, illness,
Yes.
sickness, sometimes you can't save
Mhm.
them. No matter everything, all the skills, the know how, the knowledge that you have for therapists, social workers, counselors to hear people's stories day in and
Yes,
day
yes,
out.
yes.
Some so traumatic you can't even believe it. To hear that every day and don't have a release from that, we're not talking about going and sharing other people's
No,
business.
no, no,
No,
no, no.
that's we're talking about you not taking that
Mm-hmm.
on. You having a safe place to release that weight of I didn't know so many people were dealing with
Mm-hmm.
this. because you got to hold that person up while they going through that journey of dealing with some of that
Right.
stuff. Do you understand the weight that you have to hold somebody up who can't hold themselves up? We got to be strong for people who don't have strength. Pastors have to pray and hold that for their congregants, their members, because they don't have it.
That's true.
You got to walk side by side with some people through their trauma, especially when they're reliving it, especially when they're experiencing it. Somebody coming to you saying, I'm experiencing domestic violence daily. A child who just gone through abuse. That is hard. Not only for them to share it, to open up and
Yeah.
acknowledge it, but to hear it, to listen to that experience. That's a weight. And when you don't have the outlet to deal with some of that as these workers, these professions, you can develop compassion
Yes,
fatigue.
most definitely.
And that can look like emotional detachment, cynicism, increased frustration, feeling hopeless. I remember when I first started in substance abuse, Iris, I felt hopeless because I'm like, the people won't stop using.
Yeah, yeah.
No matter what I say and do, they keep using. They coming back saying it keeps happening, and I couldn't connect the dots because it was early in my education, and I had to learn that I can't work harder than them. This is their journey. I'm just here with them. So whatever happens, I'm just here.
Yeah, that
No matter what direction.
no,
Go
I was
ahead,
going to say
Iris.
that that's true because you feel like you're saying the right things. You went to school. You got the knowledge, but there's nothing. You don't see the evidence of change.
There you go. Yeah, that's the
Mm,
problem. Yeah, you don't see the
evidence of
evidence.
change, and then you have to realize that's something that you want to see. I can want it
Yeah,
all day for them, but until they acknowledge where they are and want the change for themselves, that's where, like you said, it comes to you can't want it more than them.
yeah, Iris. I think one of the best things one of the professors ever said to me is that look at yourself as a seed planter.
Yes, 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 yes.
Sometimes you're just here to plant the seed. You might not ever see it grow into
Mm-hmm.
fruition, heart to bloom. You might not even see it
Yeah,
harvested. But the fact that down the line, because you planted the seed, hopefully somewhere down the line, years from now or months from now, it'll register something that you said with them, or the fact that you listened and you were there,
mm-hmm.
and they remember this is the first step I need to take.
Yeah. That's it.
That's
That's
progress.
progress.
You've done your job.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us need to take that view on. Sometimes you're a seed planter, and no matter where you are as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
when your children grow up, sometimes you're just you wish them the best. You've given what you had,
Yeah.
the knowledge, the know-how, you've placed it within them. Now they got to go out into the world, and hopefully they'll use these tools will be effective at some
Yeah.
point.
Many helpers are used to being strong one, so they ignore their own emotional needs, and that has happened a lot. When you consider the strong one, whether you're on the job, whether you're in your family, whatever the dynamics may be, if you consider the strong one, you often forget about yourself. You're so busy helping others that you're taking the back seat. And a lot of times that happens with a lot of women
Oh
because they wear
yes,
so
very
many hats, so many roles that they have to make sure that the family's okay, everything else is okay, to they're the last ones to even be thought about.
it's
Mm-hmm.
expected. It's expected from the women. No matter what, they're gonna always show
Mm-hmm.
up. They're gonna always fix it. It's embedded
Yeah.
generations. You be the strong one. Because if you take it back to slavery time, Iris, our families were taken. We were put in different
Mm-hmm.
places. The men, the men of the family, the head of the family, they might have been sold off somewhere else or moved somewhere else, and the women and children stayed
Mm-hmm.
So they had to hold up. They had to carry
Mm-hmm.
on. Didn't have time to grieve, couldn't cry out. No, don't go. You didn't have no control over
Nope.
none of that. I just got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's embedded in us to keep going. We evolve. We survive.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what comes up against us, we just keep. You think about the concept of Big Mama, and you hear these stories, especially in movies and all of that, how they took on the community. Everybody come today, had the least of these. Not much money, but we feeding the masses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being a helper does not make you immune to burnout. We wonder why these heart conditions and high blood pressure, all of this is embedded within your family because you're taking the least of these. The food, the worst in the food that nobody else wanted to eat was given to us, and we had to make do. We've been making do for so long that we don't know how to survive on the good stuff.
Yeah.
We're used to
Yeah.
this. It's kind. So now when we're trying to share and spread the word of wholeness and wellness, people look at you
Mm-hmm.
strange. No, nothing about that. I ain't used to that. That ain't what I was brought up on. But it's time now. And if you want to see something different, and we want the generations to have better, and I'm talking about all the way
Yes.
around, not just financially. We ain't talking about land. We ain't talking about how. No, we're talking about mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Families are whole.
That's true. You can love what you do and still become exhausted by it.
That is
Mm-hmm.
just
I
true.
can love it all day. And as, don't think exhaustion is not normal. We do get tired and do become exhausted because these things that we talk. Sometimes we just overstand ourselves. But at the same time, you have to know that that is what you're doing. You have to be aware, and then set those boundaries. Going back to the boundaries that you don't. It's not a constant thing.
Yeah,
When it becomes constant, that's when I worry then.
yeah, that's when it becomes
Mm-hmm.
a problem. Burnout and mental health. Burnout significantly impacts your mental health. I was just said that you constantly keep flowing and doing the same thing over and over again. You might have loved it at one point. You're very
Mm-hmm.
good at it. You were called to do it, but you lack
Yes.
boundaries. You lack cutoff moments. You lack clocking out.
Mm-hmm.
People know that they can count on you, but at some point you got to say, no,
No,
I need to step
not
out.
available.
That's a no for
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm not available. When you're constantly always available for people in every area, you become exhausted. And it's not about um in the sense of you do it because you're expecting something from it.
Mm-hmm.
No, you do it because you love it.
Right.
And I do this because I love it. I don't expect anything out of this. What I want out of it is wholeness and wellness. But I can't take it on. I can't take on the world and carry everybody on my back and say, y'all not well, but I'm a hold you up.
Right.
That's
Right.
not my responsibility.
Burnout can increase symptoms of anxiety, depression, panic attack, substance use, and emotional dysregulation.
Yeah. Some people begin emotionally shutting down because their nervous system stays activated for too long.
That's so true. And when it comes to addiction, we often see people use unhealthy coping skills to manage their burnout. That's when they turn to alcohol, emotional eating, isolation, overspending, overworking, and avoidance. And I have seen that, like I said, working in this field, especially them using alcohol, emotional eating, overspending, and avoidance. Those are the ones I see most of the time. Because you're trying to not, like I say, not deal with the pain, you're not using the positive skills to pretty much address the issue. We know alcohol and overeating, that can lead to something else. You can become addicted to whether it's alcohol or drugs. Overeating, it can affect you physically. And then avoidance, we just don't want to deal with anything, period.
Yeah.
So we have to get to the point that we can get to the point where we normalize and seeking help for what we need.
That's yeah. Normalize seeking help. All these things give you short bursts of happiness
That's it for a moment.
for a moment. I'm a drink. You're gonna feel good for about 4 hours, then you're gonna get sick. You're gonna feel the ramifications the next day. Emotional eating. We enjoy food. You see people when they eat certain things, they might sing, shake, hum, dance, because it's good for a moment. You can possibly get overstuffed. Your blood sugar can increase because you're eating the wrong thing. You can get diabetes.
Yeah.
Isolation. How many of us not happy? We're our happiest when we by ourselves for a little bit because you ain't nobody's bothering
Right.
you.
Nobody can ask
Do all the
questions.
things right. You can watch your favorite shows. You can clean up. You can get stuff organized. But after a while, the silence becomes deafening, and you feel like the walls are closing in on you. No, woe is me. Overspending. We love the swipe that card until we see that bank
Yep.
statement and you get negative. You're in the negative now. Overworking, we do it because we're trying to get more money.
Mhm.
The paycheck looks good, the pay stub, but after a while, you're physically exhausted because you raise your hand every time they talk about anybody want to work overtime.
That's keep for dealing with stuff. They're gonna overwork. They ain't got to deal with nothing. If you're
Exactly.
working, you ain't got time to really focus on. Yeah.
Think about, but as the Iris said, after all is said and done, all that stuff that you thought you were putting under your feet, you slip on it
Mm-hmm.
and it rises to the surface again. That's why workforce wellness matters. Mental health cannot be separated from workplace culture.
Not at all. Because healthy employees are not just productive employees. They are emotionally supported employees. And you know what? I think that's why most of these jobs now have put in the plan, your insurance plan, therapy, gym
Oh yeah,
memberships.
well,
Yeah, wellness plans.
uh, that is true. That ain't something that you seen back in the
Nope.
day. That was part of your insurance
Mm-mm.
plan. But I be getting emails and text messages about all of it.
Yes.
Telehealth,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's discuss workforce wellness, Iris.
Workforce wellness means creating environments where people can function without sacrificing their mental health. And that's so important.
I love that. Healthy workplace culture includes boundaries, supportive
Mm-hmm.
leadership, realistic
Mm.
expectations. Stop setting that bar so high that can't,
These grandiose
the other person
ideas.
can reach the sky. Right. Realistic expectations, communication, mental health awareness. Like Iris said, a lot of jobs now, the insurance benefits have mental health options,
Mhm.
work life balance,
Yeah.
respect. That's the key thing. Respect.
An employee needs to understand that burnout affects your productivity, retention, your moral, attendance, emotional wellness, and team dynamics. It's going to affect all that.
Hmm. People perform better when they feel psychologically safe and supported.
That's the truth.
That's That's with
Yeah,
anything. In my family, in my relationships, anything. If I feel psychologically safe and supported, you get the best out of
that's
me.
it. Workplaces should not normalize emotional exhaustion as a badge of honor. Because you're working them to death and they keep showing up, y'all think that's good?
You want to give me a pen
A
and a cup?
cup? That ain't you ain't honoring me.
5 years, you give me a cup. What? No, it's not. It's not honoring. So let's give the people some practical coping skills and strategies to use to begin to start addressing burnout. If they feel like they're headed that way and know somebody who's already experiencing it,
Okay.
let's give them
So
some.
number one is set a boundary. Stop normalizing access to you 24/7.
Shut the door and lock it.
Bam.
2, I'm sorry, boundaries are healthy, not selfish. For example, taking
Mm-hmm.
breaks, using PTO, logging off after work, saying no when necessary.
I'm gonna put a pin in right there. I don't understand people not taking breaks and not using PTO. I'm gonna use everything that's offered to me.
I ain't leaving nothing on the table.
Not at all.
Nothing. If they gave it to me, I'm using it.
Yeah, yeah. Number two, learn your stress signals. So know your triggers. Pay attention to your body and emotions when you become feeling stressed.
Please. Because our body often warns us before burnout becomes severe. You see the
Mm-hmm.
signs. You you happy. Listen to your music driving to work. As soon as you pull up to the parking lot, your whole attitude and spirit
Stomach upset,
change.
head hurting.
Right.
Oh, number three, prioritize rest. Rest is productive. It helps me.
I promise you. Oh, I lean and depend
And,
on
and,
it.
and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm leaning back, resting in him, and got my feet crossed at my ankles. And everything, every now and then I may rub my feet together. That's me resting. I'm resting in them.
Oh, rest is more than sleep, people. That's what we try to
Yes.
tell you. We ain't talking about just being in the bed and sleeping.
Gotta
No.
rest your feet.
Rest includes emotional rest, spiritual rest, mental rest, social rest. Sometimes you have
Cut
to
off.
be by yourself. Cut it off. I can't hang out today. Now ain't nobody coming over my house today. I need a
That's
reset.
it.
And that's fine.
Number four, reconnect with joy. Burnout often disconnects people from joy. People, I can't lose my joy.
I'm not gonna lose my joy or my
Mm-mm,
peace. Find activities that make you feel human again. You are not a robot.
mm-mm.
You are a human man, woman, boy, child, girl. Music, nature, reading, creativity, exercise, family time, faith practices. Some of y'all don't go to church on Sundays because you work Monday through Friday. And you said the weekends are your time. And you wonder why your prayers ain't being
Gotta get
answered.
spiritually grounded.
That's a whole
Yeah.
nother.
Number
Mhm.
five, seek support. Therapy is important and support systems matter. Support systems matter.
Yeah, you don't have to carry stress
Mhm.
alone. I don't know why people like to carry stuff alone. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna mess my back up and my spine trying to hold this stuff by myself.
Now that's good.
I'm trying to give it away. Help
Hmm.
me.
That's so good. We want listeners to reflect honestly. Ask yourself this: am I functioning or truly well? When was the last time I rested without guilt? Have I ignored my mental health because of work? Do I feel emotional exhausted most days? What changes do I need to make for my wellness?
Those are good, Iris. Please ask yourself these questions. And another important question: what is my body trying to tell me that I've been ignoring?
Mhm.
Some of you feeling the symptoms now, the physical symptoms now. Ask yourself, why? Is this more than just illness? Is this more than just
Mhm.
arthritis? It could be deeper than that. As we close today's episode, we want you to remember this: you deserve wellness beyond survival mode.
Burnout is not weakness. Needing rest is not failure. Protecting your peace is not selfish.
Your mental health matters, your emotional health matters, and your life should not be consumed entirely by stress and exhaustion.
We want people to stop waiting until they completely break down before prioritizing themselves.
Please stop. Healing includes learning how to slow down, listen to yourself, and create healthier
Yes, Lord.
balance.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Well Life Wednesday.
Be sure to subscribe, follow, share this episode with someone who may be silently struggling with burnout.
Watch us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
And remember,
Protect your peace,
protect your peace,
honor your
honor
healing,
your healing,
and live
and
well.
live well. Till next time, see you guys next week.